Hey, Nicole here. So, let's talk about why I have these 3 scars on my neck. The first one, down at the very bottom, is from where I had my thyroid taken out. I had cancer, and 2007 is when I started getting sick, and then January of 2008, I had my thyroid completely removed. Which means I have no metabolism. Yay! These other 2 scars. Let me try to get in a little closer, maybe. Right here. Right here and right here. In 2015, I was the victim of a violent crime. Let me back up. March the 3rd of 2015, I got married to what I thought was the man of my dreams. I did a background check on him. Okay. Other than some minor traffic infractions, nothing really came back. You know, whatever. That was March the 3rd. April the 7th, which just over a month later, he hit me. And I called the cops, kicked him out. That's what you're supposed to do. You know, I called the cops. Of course, he left before the police came. So he leaves, whatever, and the cops are like, you know, well, if he comes back, just call us. So I'm like, okay, no problem. 3 days later, April the 10th, I'm taking a shower, and the shower curtain rips open, and there he is. I had changed the locks at this point. However, he broke in while I was taking a shower and ripped me out of the shower and beat the ever-living crap out of me. So, as I lay there in and out of consciousness on April the 10th, he leaves. I call the police. I go to the emergency room. Concussion, broken nose, broken wrist. You know, police take all sorts of pictures of me. The job that I had to go out of town every other weekend. I worked for a large international company on, I'm not going to say executive level, but I guess it could be an executive level. On other companies, it would be like almost like a C-level job. But with a lot of sales into it. There's a long story behind that. But anyway, so I had to go out of town, in and out of town, every other weekend. Well, April the 29th, I get a call. I pick it up. Hey, it's Nicole. How can I help you? I'm at the airport, literally about to get on a plane, and it's the cops. It's Tampa PD. And they tell me, we've arrested your husband. The neighbors called. He was breaking in your house. I said, okay, well, he needs to go to jail. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts, because he already had a warrant for his arrest. So I said, okay. So he goes off to jail and gets out on a basically released on your own recognizance type bond, a signature bond. Go to his, I guess it would be arraignment a couple weeks later. The judge says, well, he's a veteran, so we have to send him to Veterans Court. So the state's attorney stands up and says, okay, well, this is his history. And that's when I learned the truth about my new husband. Domestic violence arrest in like couple times in Florida, a couple times in New York, kicked out of the Marine Corps for violence on women. And I'm just like, I'm sitting there like, what the holy shit, what did I get myself into? Oh my God. So he gets transferred to the Veterans Treatment Court. At the time, I was going to Moffitt Cancer Center because I had, obviously, there you go. I mean, if I was going to the cancer center, ta-da. They recommended, not Moffitt, but the courts recommended that basically he have no violent contact with me. Which means he can still have contact with me, but no violent contact. I'm like, yeah, he's not living with me. I'm sorry. You hit me once, you gotta go. You break in, you definitely gotta go. So this is in May-ish. He breaks in a couple more times, mainly while I'm sleeping, because that's when he can catch me off guard, and proceeds to beat the living shit out of me. I call the police. Police come out. I was literally told by Tampa PD, you need to stop calling us. Because he'd be gone by the time they got there. And I'm like, oh, okay. So, it's okay for somebody to beat the living shit out of somebody, if it's their wife, or their child, obviously. But don't call us. What in the actual... Okay. So I went to his court, because he had to go for status hearings. Went to his court, and I literally told the judge, A, I'm in fear of my life, and B, he said he's going to kill me. I got told, well, we're the experts. I'm like, very well. He said he's going to murder me. I don't know what more to say about that. I got sick and tired of being in fear, living by myself. So I decided, you know what? Screw it. I'm moving. Well, he got wind of it. This was August the 9th. He broke back in, beat the living shit out of me, and attempted to murder me. While he was beating me and bashing in my face, trying to do this without crying. While he was doing that and bashing in my face, we were in the front room of my home, which is where my art studio was, and he grabbed, had a knife that I would cut things with, like clay and whatnot, but it was sharp. And he attempted to cut my throat. Twice. 2 times. You got that. 2 times he tried to cut my throat. So he did other injuries things to me, which I'm not going to repeat because they're pretty grotesque. So he does that and leaves me unconscious. Leaves me unconscious, bleeding, face bashed in, throat cut, other areas. Mutilated. We'll just leave it at that. When I finally come to consciousness, I'm like, I gotta get out of here. I attempted to get the neighbor. Neighbor was not answering. Long story short, whatever. I ended up leaving. I ended up going to the hospital. So, while I'm at the hospital, he calls the police and says that I beat him up. Yes, the same police department that said, don't call me anymore. I'm like, okay. So, they pressed charges on me for battery. He has no bruises, no scars, no nothing on him. He might have a scratch from me trying to defend him off me. Or maybe from one of his crack whores. I don't know. So I got charged with battery. A violent crime. I'm like, that's bullshit. Meanwhile, my face is bashed in, whatever. I ended up not getting arrested, by the way. Never been arrested. So, fast forward to January of 2016, I ended up having to have surgery to reconstruct all of this. Hence, you can kind of see a nice scar and everything. 2 days before we were to go to trial, they dropped the charges and decided not to prosecute because the medical evidence did not stand up to his story. Medical evidence showed that no, she is not the aggressor. He was the aggressor. And basically, by this point, I'd already had a couple, I had a couple surgeries, whatever. So, back to his case, they never charged him for that. Combined all the different assaults and the different batteries and whatnot. He got 25 hours community service. So there you go. So that is why my throat is cut in 2 different places. Why I've got scars. Because I was the victim of a violent crime where he got special treatment and a background check wasn't truthful. Surprise! That an online background check wasn't truthful. So there you go. Yeah. Fun times. If anybody's curious, I'm currently in a civil suit against him. I won't get much. He'll be paying me for the rest of his life. But as well, I am fighting for a national violent offender registry, which I'll get to in a different video. So yeah, there you go. That's why I have scars on my neck. Surgery and some asshole who decided he didn't want me to live another day. Thank you for watching this 13-minute video if you're still here. All right,